I wonder what's on the tube.
Welcome back.
Thank you for being a friend.
What you talking about, Willis?
You are a meathead.
No soup for you.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Sitcom My Face. I'm Nick Franco, and with me always,
Jay Bidwell.
How we doing this week, Jay?
Well, I'm still alive.
That is a good thing.
The vaccine works! Scream no.
Woohoo!
Dude, we don't know. We have no fucking proof that it works. We have no fucking proof that it don't work. I don't fucking know, but I'm still alive. So, and I don't feel terrible. So, that's all you can ask for.
Sweet.
I still can't taste my beer, but
Well, yeah. But then again, you said you had that thing in the refrigerator so long that, well, probably lost a lot of its taste anyway.
He's like, why are you fucking drinking beer? You can't taste shit. I was like, well, it's been sitting there so long, it probably doesn't taste like anything anyhow. So,
but hopefully you'll get the effects of beer anyway.
there was a lot of sediment in there, like hanging out.
Ooh.
I mean, let's be real. The good beers have sediment anyway, but that's why I poured it in a glass. Give it a little. Don't look at it. Just go away. Just go away. It's in there somewhere. Now it's in here somewhere.
Nice.
Anyway, well, we're going to talk about the horniest courtroom in the history of time. Oh my God, dude.
Which courtroom was that? Was that Devil's Advocate? I don't remember.
Whichever one that Casey Anthony case took place.
Oh, God.
Man, them fuckers were like, man, I can't think straight because half my blood's in my dick, so I guess let her go.
And on those light notes, no, we're actually talking about a different court.
We can't say she murdered a child. She was found innocent. So, anyway, so somebody though, this guy named Reinhold Weege, I believe, he took in some court cases and decided, you know what? There's some comedy to be had in the judicial system, and he created this show for NBC called Night Court.
And I'm glad he did.
Oh my God, I fucking love this show. Just right out the gate, I fucking love this show.
Yeah. First off, great theme. Like,
oh yeah,
when you talk about great themes,
greatest instrumental themes for a sitcom ever.
Yeah, just so like catchy. You start with the low bass and bam, boom, 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 bam, and then you get into that like. It's like you get a little jazzy in that, and then like that, getting some 80s synth in there. And it's like do 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 do. But
bow 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 down. Yeah,
exactly.
So
horns and
usually I don't love instrumental theme songs. I'm a guy who likes a catchy little jingle with some words. I think this might be the best one that doesn't have words, in my opinion. My humble fat man who loves sitcoms opinion.
No, you know what? I'm with you. Like this is, this has got to be at least one of the top ones when it comes to just, as you said, just instrumental sitcom theme songs.
Well, we talked about the Bob Newhart one where you're like, I mean, part of it's fun, but there's 3 different fucking songs jammed together.
Exactly. It's like they took all the elements of jazz, including like sort of like the sporadic. Well, it's like, oh, well, we started here. Oh, wait, now we're just into a different song. We're going to end it here, and it's not going to sound like it actually ends. What?
Now, kids will know this theme song because of that one episode of Family Guy where Bill Clinton plays it on the saxophone. That's probably the only way younger people are going to know. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's available on IMDb TV.
The fuck? You just spewing letters at me now?
Yes.
ZQFJLP. What?
Yes,
fuck, man.
I'm having an alphabet attack.
So yeah, this aired on NBC from 84 to 92, and it's really a show that it wasn't reran that much, right? Like I haven't seen it in so many years. I think like A&E had it for a while.
I think you're right. Yeah, it was definitely on one of the other cable channels that, it's like, oh, okay, not one of your primary cable channels, like sort of like a TBS, a TNT, USA Network, any of those type of like, oh, okay, those are kind of like the ones a lot of people hit. Yeah, A&E's definitely further down the scale, like like of people getting a lot of a lot of clicks, if you want to say.
They really covered their bases with that title too. Arts and entertainment. What?
Oh, it's pretty much
You got-
anything. Yeah.
anything you want. Fucking slap that shit on there. But this was a show that strangely I really loved as a kid.
Same
which
here.
I don't understand it because if you watch it, it doesn't feel like it would appeal to kids much, right?
No,
It's
it does not
workplace
feel.
judicial fucking sitcom with all adults. There's no children.
No, like of course there are episodes with children or something, but yeah, it's
They're all
not a
incidental.
child.
It's fucking-
Exactly, it's not a child-based sitcom.
So yeah, and looking back, I still love it to this day, but I don't know why I loved it so much as a kid. I remember having a crush on Marky Post, R.I.P.
Oh, definitely.
with
yeah.
her, 2-story high shoulder pads
Definitely that 80s look.
and her mullet. She had a fucking mullet.
Oh, yeah.
Like she was still hot. I don't understand how she was still hot with a mullet, but
Oh, although I never, it's like, yeah, it was an odd name, Marky Post. Like I love Marsha Warfield, who played Roz in, what was it, season 4 on. It's like in her stand-up, she was talking about playing on Night Court, and she was talking, it's like, what kind of name is Marky Post? It sounds like you're building a fence. It's like, okay, Marky Post, Marky Post.
yeah, this was a show that was fucking ripe for cast changes, man. Like, it is a weird show to watch. I didn't watch it this time straight through. I have seen all of these seasons. I have.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just grab my mountain here of fucking DVDs just for posterity. But there's 9 seasons that I have on DVD here.
Nice. And if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is one of the ones where after was it season 3 or 4, it's like one of those like they what do they call it? Like sort of on demand burn kind of. It's like, all right, here's the season.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe the first 3 seasons didn't sell well, but they did release the first 3 seasons on regular DVD.
Right.
And then after that, they just stopped coming out. And I was like, what the fuck? And then one day they showed up on Amazon as what they call a print on demand title.
Print
so you
on
buy
demand,
it,
that's the
and then
word.
they look fine. I mean, they look like DVDs or decent quality for how many episodes are crammed on these. But if you turn them over, they are like blue on the bottom, like a burnable disc,
Mm-hmm.
a rewrite disc. But the cases they give you, they print out the artwork fine, but they give you the most flimsy fucking cases, which is why you can see some of them are green, some are clear, because I had to change all the fucking cases out as I found.
Yeah, so they had cases from like a freaking GameStop,
Yeah, and it's not the easiest to come across like multi-disc cases to fucking replace them with. So when I find a green one, I was like, oh, all right, that label's got a green season 6 on it, so I'll just throw a green case on that bitch. But
nice.
yeah, it is one of the only series I know that did that. And I think it's got to be some Warner Brothers deal, because I think a lot of the Warner Archive movies,
Mm-hmm.
like which a lot of their classic archival Warner Brothers movies did that same thing. So I don't know. Maybe Amazon secretly owns Warner Brothers and we just don't know it yet.
They just haven't announced it yet.
Yeah, so we can blame them for Space Jam or something. I don't know. Space Jam New
Ooh.
Legacy.
Yeah, the new Space Jam. I have not watched it, and that's on
Don't.
purpose. And yeah,
I mean, not that Space Jam's a great movie, but the new one's just even dumber.
Yeah, I heard much about it. Although it sounds like they did try to cram as much Warner legacy into it as possible.
They took the whole Warner archive and shoved it up Bugs Bunny's ass, is what they did. Maybe Amazon helped with that. I don't know.
Could be. Could be, Doc.
It's an enema on demand. Fuck. But anyway, back to Night Court. I would say probably one of my, maybe cracks the top 5. It definitely cracks the top 10 for me.
Yeah, definitely top 10 for me. I got to see about top 5. Like, it's just like one of those ones that easily just put on an episode and enjoy. It's not like, oh, okay, you got to really mine the gold type of thing. It's like, no, pretty much put on most episodes and, oh, yeah, you're getting a good one.
So it takes place in, is it a Manhattan courthouse?
Yes.
I think they say.
Yeah, it's a Manhattan courthouse.
And I want to say they said there's no actual thing as like, there's no real night court in Manhattan, right?
I don't know.
I feel like I seen a thing that said it's not quite the way.
Never had to, like go to any court in Manhattan. So
Okay, you never got caught with a woman of the night, whatever.
No.
Well, should we go through the cast real quick? I mean, just plow through the.
Yeah, well, let's go on as far. You want to do it by season, kind of like who our cast was, or did you?
If you want to go, if you want to go that deep, sure. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, well,
I was just gonna cover the heavy hitters, but yeah, we can go season 1.
I was gonna say we can go over the ones that like the permanent, the heavy, like you said, the heavy hitters.
So season 1, the only one that I know the show was actually written for, I think, was Selma Diamond, who was actually a comedy writer.
Yeah, I didn't know that about her. Like I had seen her in other stuff, but I didn't know she was also a writer.
She wrote way back for like Sid Caesar and the Show of Shows and shit.
Oh
like
my
that.
God, your Show of Shows. Damn.
Yes. So like she was, I guess, a force in comedy, but I don't know if she was big an actress yet. Kind of like how they plucked Conan O'Brien from the writer's room and threw him onto a talk show. He was
basically,
so funny.
yeah.
I
remember his first episode too, like watching his late night talk show, and it's like, wait, he's playing the Food Emporium theme song on an acoustic guitar. What is the show?
Because Reinhold Weege, the creator of the show, he was a writer for MASH and Barney Miller. So I wonder if maybe she made the rounds at those shows at some point, or if she was just already just known throughout the comedy world. But she is actually said to be one of the inspirations for Sally on the Dick Van Dyke Show in the writer's room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like that's how I guess prolific she was at that point.
Damn.
And that was fucking what, 60s?
Dick Van Dyke, was that late 50s or 60s? I think you're right, 60s.
I think I read one time.
Yeah,
that was
61 to 66 was Van Dyke.
That might have been the last show to be entirely black and white, if I remember right. The Dick Van Dyke Show. Because it came later. I think it was 60s, but by that point, a lot of shows were going color, or at least did at some point in the run.
Right. Like, you look at something like a Gilligan's Island. Yeah, it started black and white, became color.
Mm-hmm. Selma Diamond, I think she's very funny. She's your typical sassy old lady with the raspy voice.
Mm-hmm. Always smoking a cigarette.
It would have been interesting to see her continue, but I do like her eventual replacement as well. So it's hard to call. So also in season 1, the only 3 characters we have that go through the entire run of the show are
Judge Harry Stone, played by Harry Anderson.
Great.
Then we have Dan Fielding, the DA, assistant DA, played by John LaRoquette.
John LaRoquette.
And
played by that random narrator from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wow.
Did you know that? He was the narrator for Texas Chainsaw
No,
Massacre?
I didn't.
Both of them, the original and the remake.
Damn. But and the other one is Richard Mall as
Bull
Shannon. Now, extra points. Do you remember what Bull's full name is?
Oh, no, not offhand, I don't.
Maybe if you look into the future, you might find it. Hint.
Right. No, I don't remember it.
Nostradamus, Bull Shannon.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yep.
And for all those that remember the movie Caveman, Richard Mall was actually the big Arctic monster that they thawed in the one cave.
Well, ironic, because he's also a caveman in the Flintstones live-action movie with John Goodman.
There we go.
He works at the rock quarry with Fred.
And
back to our honeymooners episode.
And also, for those on the superhero end of the scale, there, he also played Two-Face from Batman the Animated Series.
He was also a villain in the Spider-Man cartoon. I forget which one though.
Oh, I believe you're right. No, let's see. Wasn't
I want to say Scorpion? Is that one of them?
It could be. It could be because he didn't. I know he didn't play.
Is he green with a horn?
What's that?
Is what's the character that's? I think he's green with a horn.
Green with a horn. No, let's see. Well, okay, wait. Scorpion's got a tail that has like a little stinger
Maybe.
thing on it.
Yeah, he's on.
It's always.
I
like-
was shocked when I saw he was Two-Face. I was like, I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, that one shocked me too because I'm like, I know this voice. Yeah, and it's good, but it's like, who is this? Yeah, no, that was Richard Mall.
Richard Mole, very tall man. You younger folks might know him from Scary Movie 2. He's the ghost in Scary Movie 2. I guess he was doing some sci-fi movie or something, and he was a creature effects or a makeup type of actor.
Mm-hmm.
So he came into the audition bald because he had been working on some sci-fi movie, and they loved his look and were like, "Hey, can you stay bald?" And he said something like, "Yeah, I'd shave my ass to get this role. Like, head's fine."
Nice.
So John Larroquette, like I said, he was the narrator for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is bizarre. I don't know what else he was super big for before this, but as Dan Fielding, he fucking shines in this show.
Not Dan Fielding. Bull Shannon. Oh, you said John Larroquette. I'm sorry, you switched.
I was like, wait,
It's
what?
like, no, because we were talking about Richard Mall, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, hold on. Oh, wait, John Larroquette, yeah. No, well, John Larroquette, not only did he shine in playing Dan Fielding, he also won 4 Primetime Emmys for playing Dan Fielding.
He had to tell them to stop giving him Emmys. Did you see
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
He won 4 years in a row, I think. And he was like, I need you to take me out of consideration for future Emmys for this role, because he said, well, he's being polite, but he's like, I want to blend in, and I don't want my future career to be all this.
Yeah, all based on playing Dan Fielding.
But which is his way of saying, I know I'm amazing. Can you fucking stop? Like, because I assume that his co-stars, some of them may have been in the same category and were maybe not getting noms because of.
Well, I know,
or at least not winning.
Yeah, Harry Anderson was like nominated a couple of times, but he didn't win. Who else? Paula Kelly also was nominated one time.
Wait,
and Selma Diamond too.
Paula was nominated for the one season she was on, and they fired her?
Yeah.
What the fuck? So she was an actress in the first season. She was the original defense attorney.
Yes.
African-American woman. I thought she was great, actually. I really liked her.
No. Oh, yes. But yeah, Paula.
She was Liz. I think her name was the character.
Yes. Yeah, Liz Williams.
Yes. So I thought she was good. She was the most real, I feel like, of the characters. She was kind of the one that grounded it a little bit for me.
Yeah.
She wasn't wacky. She wasn't any of that. But she played it. She played it well. So you're telling me that she won, and she's the one they fired for not being that interesting.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
I believe after 10 episodes. Although she was credited for all 13.
Oh, so she didn't even finish the season.
Correct.
Wow. That's a weird choice. Like, in your first year, I know the show didn't do real well in the first season, but for there to be already Emmys flying at it, that's pretty crazy that they would. Now, I know Marky Post was the first choice. Did you know that?
That I didn't know.
She was the first choice for the role, but she couldn't do it because she was contractually obligated to the Fall Guy.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that because Marky Post does appear in season 2.
Mm-hmm. Right, one episode, like a guest
one
star
episode as like a fill-in public defender, and then like she's not seen for the rest of the season because she was again still on the Fall Guy as a regular.
So, it almost makes you go, they were just looking for any excuse to get rid of these defender characters, just in the hopes that maybe she would someday be available.
It's like, Marky, are you ready yet?
Yeah.
Oh no, okay, hold on, we got someone else to fill in.
It's like on All in the Family when they wanted Sherman Hemsley for George Jefferson, but he was contractually obligated to something else, so they just kept having his brother show up instead. Every scene that would have been George just was like his brother, and then one day they're like, "Oh, George is back!" And here he is, and the brother just disappears. Thanks for being our placeholder, you fuck.
Yeah, I can't wait until we do that show. I just listened to a two-parter on Gilbert Gottfried's podcast. They had Sally Struthers on. Oh my God, the stories that she had.
Gilbert Gottfried, a regular in the 9th season here.
Yes, he was as Oscar
I just saw a really funny, just like a 20-second thing on YouTube. It was like an old TNT Up All Night ad, and it was Gilbert Gottfried was hosting like a horror movie marathon.
Yep.
And it was him and Pinhead.
Oh my God.
Promoting like Hellraiser 3. So you got Gilbert Gottfried with the
I'm
fucking.
Gilbert Gottfried.
He's got the
I'm
little
here with
Hellraiser
Pinhead.
box. He's like, how the hell do you open this thing? You know? And Hellraiser's like, I will take your soul. And he's like, whatever, dude. Like, we'll figure it out tonight on Hellraiser 3 or some shit. It's like, what a weird time. What a weird time the 90s was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I remember that it was... He was one of the hosts, and Rhonda Shear was the other.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Look her up. You'll be happy you did.
Rhonda Shear boobies. Anytime anyone tells me to Google any actress, I just gotta add boobies at the end. I want the first time I see them to be naked. No, just kidding.
But anyway, yeah,
Harry Anderson. We gotta talk about Harry Anderson too.
Harry Anderson.
He was one of the first people I remember seeing as like a guest act on SNL.
Ah.
I don't remember them doing that very much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you? Like he came on as like a guest comedian and actor, but I don't think he was the host.
No, I don't know.
Or not actor, but comedian and magician.
There was a time that they were going through that. You had him. You also had another person that showed up once or twice was Joel Hodgson. Do you know Joel Hodgson?
No.
Do you know the show Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Mm-hmm.
He's the creator of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Okay.
And
he was a guest like comic on there?
Yeah, it's like he had a very like low-key stonerish attitude. Hi, in the morning, I'm an ordinary ventriloquist. At night, and all of a sudden, like,
so he's not on. Is he one of the voices on there?
No. Like Joel Hodgson, he was actually the human on Mystery Science Theater 3000, and
okay.
And on SNL, yeah, like he, as himself as a comedy magician, it's like in the morning I'm a ventriloquist, at night, and all of a sudden the ventriloquist dummy all of a sudden would turn into a gun. It's like, I'm Agent J. It's like this very stoner-esque delivery.
Well, Harry, much like Tony Danza, apparently can't remember his own name because he always played characters named Harry.
Yeah.
Even on Cheers, he was like Harry. On this, it's like, wow. Although on Dave's World, I've never seen it, but I have to assume because he's the star, he played Dave, not Harry.
Yeah. I remembered one or two episodes watching of Dave's World, but yeah, I just remember it just not being... Yeah, because when I saw he was going to be on, it's like, Harry Anderson, yes! Because my exposure really to Harry Anderson was Night Court, and he is great as Judge Harry Stone.
Yes. Yeah, he's perfect. And the joke, I guess, is that he's the youngest judge in history. He was, 33 or 32, something. I think 30. Like that.
Oh, wait, what was it? Because they had one of the episodes, they actually had a contest to figure out, like a pool, who like how old is Harry?
Well, they say in one episode that they say his actual age, how he got it at the youngest. I think it was 33 or 34, something like that.
Yeah, it was definitely like low mid.
Because another judge comes in who's younger and is about to like beat his record, and he's pissed. He's almost like just trying to decide if he's going to sabotage this kid to wait another year.
But yeah, no. But Harry is funny, and and on that episode, the winner of the pool to guess his actual age was somebody with the initials HTS. It was Harry. He knew his age, so of course he got
Harold
the right
T.
age.
Stone, yeah. In the pilot too, they mentioned, I think that they said he only got the job because he was the only one home on a Sunday when they made the call.
Yes. Yeah. There was a stack of names, like folders, that they had to go through, and because it was a Sunday, most people weren't home. Harry happened to be home, so the reason he became a judge was he answered.
So who do we have not covered in the first season? Well, Bull, we talked about him a little bit. What about Lana? I forget the actress, Kirsten Austin or something.
Yeah, Kirsten Austin. Yeah, Yeah, she played
Lana something.
yeah, Lana Wagner, something like
Yeah,
that.
that sounds right. Yep.
Wagner, and yeah, because I remember she was engaged, but you could tell they were trying to do the whole chemistry and like love interest for Harry was Lana.
Yeah, she, I guess, just developed Bell's palsy at some point during the show, and they actually just got rid of her because they said it was affecting her acting, which I never really thought of it rewatching them. And when you really look for it, I didn't really notice anything off. Did you?
No, no, but and I know people that have actually had Bell's palsy.
And she went on to have a career after this. So, I mean,
Right, so like sometimes it's a very short time you have it. Sometimes it lasts a while. So I don't know.
oh, it's not like a permanent thing?
No, no.
Oh, wow.
Actually, a guy that I worked with actually had it, and basically, like for a while, like kind of like part of his face was kind of, if you want to say, like frozen, but
Oh, okay.
like after time, like he regained function and.
The only thing I could think is maybe they had to do a bunch of takes for her or something to get it. Or maybe that was it. Maybe it was more, it wasn't on screen, the issue. Maybe it was behind the scenes causing issues.
It could be.
I mean, she's okay. She's not the most interesting character ever. She's kind of bland.
Yeah.
So season 2, we get Selma through on season 2. And then was it season 2 where we also get the new Ellen Foley? Is that her name?
Ellen Foley, yes. She played Billy Young. And
Who, again, they wanted Barky Post. Still couldn't get her, so they had to find some other blonde to fill the role.
Right. And again, love interest for Harry. Now,
yeah, weird, huh? Everyone's a fucking love interest for Harry in this show. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Dan is the one who they write as the horny guy later throughout but
correct.
Harry is fucking everybody in this show. Not the main cast.
No.
Fucking every woman who comes on this show.
Yeah, like what was it? Was it was that third season with the nun? Like
yeah, that was the chick from Child's Play.
Yeah, it's like like she's there like and she's laughing at all Harry's jokes and she decides to leave the convent.
Do you remember what sitcom she's from? She starred in a sitcom.
Oh, what the hell was it?
It was a spinoff of the Golden Girls.
Oh shit, what was that called? That wasn't
Empty Nest.
It was Empty Nest. Okay.
Yeah.
With Richard Mulligan. And
the white-haired guy. I don't know his name, but he's awesome. I used to love that show too.
And what's his name was on there too? David Leisure, right?
He was the neighbor.
Yeah,
he was the Dan Fielding of Empty Nest.
and what he also played, if you remember these old commercials, Joe Isuzu.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I liked Empty Nest, and that's another one that I don't think that reruns, and I don't see DVDs or anything anywhere.
No, I haven't seen it in a long time.
And for it to be a spinoff of the Golden Girls, you would think that actually ran for quite a few years, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that actress, and she's I know her from that, and I know her from she's the one that Chucky throws out the window.
Oh God!
In the very first Child's Play, she's one of Chucky's very first victims.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But again, yeah, she was a love interest for Harry. In one of the episodes, we talked about we both had watched. We could also just talk about the episode "Rusky Business."
Mm-hmm. The Russian.
Yeah.
Was that the Yakov episode too, right?
Yeah.
Another Yakov Smirnoff episode.
Yeah, that was I think his second episode because he actually
showed
up in what was that?
He was in 5 episodes.
Oh, he was in 5 episodes. Okay, so
yeah.
Maybe it wasn't his second episode because early on he was in an episode where he's going to set himself on fire, yeah. So, and no one speaks Russian. So
we could just jump into that episode since that's one of our actual topics, right?
Yeah.
Some Like It Hot, season 1. And this he's Russian. He shows up in the courtroom, and there's a language barrier, as you say.
Yeah.
So of course, the only words that they say jokingly that he recognizes are things like torture and jail.
Jail? No!
Oh, no!
Torture? No!
And then he's like, giant ass bull comes up and is like, I'm gonna take you to the back. And he's like, oh no! This is an episode that I chose because I think it's a good example of the show's mix of comedy and heart.
Yeah.
Like they play a lot. And some episodes, especially early first season episodes, they get real heavy-handed, real hammy, and a little corny at times.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a real strong point of the show is the comedy is always very well written, and they know, I think, when to undercut the heart and when to let it play.
Mm-hmm.
They do more of the weaving of the comedy and heart throughout a scene late, like as the show goes on. But even in those early seasons, I think this is a good one where this character is fucking hysterical. And I know Yakov Smirnoff as a name, as a comic name.
Yeah.
But even having seen this show and known and loving that character, I didn't know that was him.
Okay.
And his fucking name is Yakov.
Yeah, I know. Like, maybe that was one of the things, like a Harry and a
Right.
Tony Danza. It's like, yeah, he must always be a character named Yakov.
But I think this episode is very funny, and I think it's got a very good balance of the comedy and the heart.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of this one?
I totally agreed. Also, just to get to the titling of the episode, the Some Like It Hot, there's a reason that, like it's called like a few reasons. Like they have it, Some Like It Hot. One, it's Yakov.
Because they dress up as ladies and. No.
Yeah, no. Wrong. Some Like It Hot.
Oh, sorry.
No, but Yakov is dealing in stolen merchandise, like watches. They don't know if he actually knows that it's stolen, or like if someone took advantage of him and he's just trying to resell it. The other thing is, because he thinks he's going to go to jail and be tortured, and that because
There's a language barrier.
Yeah, language barrier. Again, at the time, you're talking about we're still within the Cold War between the U.S. and Russia. So
God, that was still on in '84.
Yes, it was still on in '84.
God damn.
Yeah, because what was it? Was it '85 or '86? You had Rocky IV with Ivan Drago, Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, wow.
But anyway, so you had this at the time. Russia was still a communist country, and this whole like KGB, all these things going on. So they're playing up to that. It's like, oh no, he's gonna be like taken away and be tortured and that. So what he does is he grabs cans of gasoline from what was the guy's name? Art, right? The
Art is the maintenance guy who actually is in. What is he in? 37 episodes of the show. He's throughout the entire thing, basically.
Correct.
It's pretty. This show is amazing with its little kind of guest stars like that, because there are little characters like Art and later on Phil.
Yep.
Who they show up in 3-4 episodes a season, but they're in all the fucking seasons.
Yeah, it's strange like that. It's like, oh, yeah, like I don't know if it was because of particular scheduling for like the person or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That it's like, oh, he couldn't be in all the episodes or most of the episodes, but yeah, you would have these characters like Art and Phil.
For a show with crazy cast changes, some of the continuity is pretty impressive.
Yes.
The fact that this one I think this is the only episode he's in the first season. But then later on he shows up in like multiple per season.
Definitely.
But anyway, so Yakov douses himself with fucking gasoline and has a lighter and is basically in the courtroom threatening to set himself on fire, but they can't communicate with him because they can't understand each other. So we get this sitcom thing we talked about even 2 episodes ago with the handcuffs. He ends up handcuffing Liz and Dan together.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go full out with it though. Like they don't do a whole lot with it. It's basically they're handcuffed together and Dan's got to piss, and they make a few jokes about, well, we can go. And he's like, nope,
nope. Yeah, like he's holding it in. But the other piece of things is what you're talking about when you also said they also have the great balance of comedy and heart, and you definitely see it in this episode because of the language barrier. They're waiting for someone to come to translate for Yakov. Where they finally get someone. Do you remember where they finally get someone that can speak Russian?
No.
Okay.
I was trying to. I watched it twice too in the last week, and I don't remember that.
They ordered Russian food,
Oh, right, because at the end they're eating it. Yeah.
They order Russian food, so it's like, oh, can you send someone over that can speak Russian? It's like, oh, they'll send someone over only if we order. Oh, and $20 minimum for delivery.
I was thinking when Art goes, "Oh, you need a Russian translator?" And he goes, "You know one?" He goes, "You speak Russian?"
I
No, but I can give it a try.
I can give it a try.
Yeah.
But but this definitely has that great balance between comedy and heart. Where
This is a very common formula for this show, where basically you set up the case. There's something crazy happens, not always to this extent, but there's a lot of episodes where a guy ends up on a ledge, is threatening to jump, something like that, and Harry has to talk him off, not the metaphorical ledge, the literal ledge.
Correct.
Death is super, super common in this show. Not only do characters actually die sometimes, but they're like, everyone wants to fucking kill themselves in this show.
Yeah, there's a lot of perilous situations, we'll say.
Yeah, like, people are always like, I'll kill myself. And you're like, Jesus Christ, this is a Thursday night comedy show. But yeah, so it always comes down to Harry's heart, his hairy ass heart, getting to the real issues with these people. I remember a first season episode with Michael J. Fox shows up.
Yeah, I think like that was the second or third episode. That's the one with Santa Claus.
He's a very distraught young man, and he had to give. He's always hugging. He's a big hugger.
Yeah.
He's Danny Tanner in that sense. He's always got to hug everyone and make them feel better.
Now that's a great analogy of Harry.
He's the Danny Tanner of Night Court. Yeah. R.I.P. Bob Saget.
Oh yes. Sorry to for anyone that does not know the news, but Bob. I'm trying to remember. Bob left us. And we did know. I think on our watch along, we talked about Betty White briefly too. So yeah,
both of which we'll be having episodes where we discuss them greatly coming up here.
Correct. But yeah, no.
Speaking of celebrities dying, most of this fucking cast is dead now.
Yeah.
We lost two of them.
It was this past
not too long ago. Marky Post has died of cancer, and
Charles
Robinson, who played Mac, beginning I think season 3.
I believe so. Yeah.
Who I also loved as a character on the show. He just died as well. He was a mixture of I think cancer and cardiac arrest.
I think you're right.
They were 70. He was 75, and I think she was 70, which is crazy to even think they were that old because it doesn't feel like it. But
no. Although Charles Robinson seemed to like I kind of remember him longer. For some odd reason, and he just showed up in I think more stuff too. Wasn't he also the dad in Something About Mary when wasn't he?
No, that was Keith David, but I think
that was Keith David. Yeah,
the wife was Marky Post. That's why.
That's right. That's why I got screwed up. Yeah. I'm like, wait, is that Charles Robinson?
Yeah, that's funny that the mom was Marky Post, and you're like, the dad was Charles Robinson.
I'm getting my my Night Court connections all mixed up.
Charles Robinson was also on Mom, I guess, for a bunch of episodes, 7 episodes, and Home Improvement for 9 episodes, which I don't really remember him on there, but I haven't watched Home Improvement in a while. I'm sure we'll get to that show someday.
Right.
Marky Post. Something About Mary, and she was also was her name Elliot? Sarah Chalke's character on Scrubs. I believe she was her mom.
Oh, okay.
Which she actually kind of looks like her, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
I'd say that's some good
now
casting.
that you think about it, yeah.
She also had remember when I asked you to name off John Ritter sitcoms? The one you didn't name was Hearts of Fire, and that was the one that starred John Ritter and Marky Post.
Wow.
And Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing says sitcom like Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, Paula Kelly actually died too. She died in 2020. She was Liz the first.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I think I got the thing about the 10 episodes wrong. I think it's actually Karen Austin that only lasted 10 episodes.
That could be.
Yeah. I think it was her. That was 10 episodes, but she's credited on all 13.
And Harry died in 2018.
Yeah. which
So
sucks as well.
weird. And 30 Rock did do a reunion thing that got us a little bit of them. I think it was those three, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Harry.
Marky, Harry, and Charles.
Wow, the three that are gone there. Weird.
Yeah.
I know John Larroquette said that he was upset they didn't ask him to do it. I wonder what that was about.
I don't know.
They said they didn't think he'd be available. And I wonder what Bull wasn't on there, as I recall, either.
No. That's strange.
We were on the Some Like It Hot episode.
Okay, we were still on the Some Like It Hot, so okay, but anyway,
Basically Harry talks him out of it.
Right.
Talks the lighter out of his hand and basically drops all charges. He's like, hey, we're not going to pursue anything here, because he assumes that he's not the crook.
Yeah, that someone took advantage of him.
Right.
Being that the language barrier exists.
He's like, fuck it. You didn't know that it was stolen. Let's go to dinner. You're like, what the fuck? How many judges would do? How do you do that though? You just go, fuck it, innocent. Right on the paper.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I've seen many courtroom things there with, fuck it, like the judge. Yeah.
I worked on a movie one time where it was going so poorly, and I wasn't a lead, and I was just an extra. But the director got to the point where he was just like, fuck it, moving on. He wouldn't yell cut anymore.
We'll get back to it.
As soon as you hear him go, we'll fix it in post. There was a funny reference in this episode that made me laugh about they're talking about how hot it is. And they look at Dan, they're like, you just notice he never sweats? And he goes, well, snakes never sweat.
Oh, yeah. Bolt says it.
Bull goes, snakes never sweat. And he goes, where'd you hear that? Or where'd you see that? At the dentist's office? Which is that like a reference to Hilarity magazine or something like that? What a strange pull. What a strange pull from Bull.
Yes, that character was great for these just like off the wall kind of like what?
Yeah, you just picture him in the waiting room reading his little kids magazine and go, oh, snakes don't sweat. I'll use that someday. Somewhere down the road. You remember Bull's catchphrase, which I love, I think is in this episode as well?
Wait.
He had a one-word catchphrase that he uses a lot throughout the show.
Wait, was it okay? No.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And I loved also like that he always like stood under those like lights because like
looks like he had giant tits on his head.
Yeah, or what was it? Dan alludes to it, I think, in the first season.
That's why they put him next to Selma too. It's because the height difference.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You would see her like neck up, and the camera would be at his belly button and shit, which is always a funny little visual.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how tall he actually was. I think he might have been like 6'6", 6'7", maybe. He was pretty tall because Harry was actually tall, and Bull was taller than him.
So yeah, Selma died after season 2, and they brought in Florence. Was that her real name as well? Wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Florence
she unfortunately she was kind of a
Haylock.
She was kind of a carbon copy of Selma. They
Yeah.
want another gruff old woman. She unfortunately died after one season.
Yeah. Also of cancer.
Oh yeah, also of cancer. So when they were going into season 4, they're like, well, fuck, we better get somebody younger. And they found, this is our last cast member we haven't discussed, right?
Correct.
Roz.
Of the heavy hitters, yeah.
Right. So Roz, who is Marsha Warfield, I believe her name is.
Yes, Marsha Warfield.
And she apparently got her start on the Richard Pryor show, which I believe was his sketch show in the 70s.
Yeah, I remember actually watching that like years ago.
I know there's actually a DVD of that out, I believe, the complete series.
I'd love to see that again.
Yeah, I've only seen clips of it. But she looked really young in the clip that I saw. I was like, wow. So she had a interview I seen, and they were joking with her like, oh, you got a death curse. You're coming into a role that was played by 2 women who are now dead over 3 seasons.
Mm.
And she was like, oh man, I'm really sorry that 2 people had to die for me to get here. She goes, but I would have killed a few more. So I mean, you would assume she's grateful for the role.
Yeah, that's definitely also up her alley as far as the comedy.
So thankfully she didn't die, and she ended up hanging out the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And is actually probably one of my absolute favorite characters.
Oh, no, agreed. Like, and especially with Bull as the like the tall dumb, like bailiff. It's like, and she was like the tough, no nonsense, but sassy, like kind of like just no nonsense, like giving it back to like people like Dan. It's like when Dan would say something like lecherous or something like that, she'd give it right back to him.
They had a lot of episodes. I think there was at least 4 of them that they called like a day in the life episodes. Did you catch any of those?
I didn't get to watch any, but I saw, like those, marks.
It was like a day in the life, another day in the life, yet another day in the life, and still a day in the life, some shit like that. And they would do like power through a shit ton of cases. They'd introduce some ticking clock where like, oh, by midnight we have to get through this many cases or everyone's set free or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they became kind of these interesting, let's just plow through fucking 50 cases, and they're the most goofy random shit ever. Did you catch the one where Wile E. Coyote showed up?
No, I didn't see that one.
Wile E. Coyote is on trial for going after the road.
Oh
like,
my
leave
God.
that bird alone. And it's actually like an animated Wile E. Coyote in the freaking.
Holy crap. But yeah, like I know they had a lot of odd characters, come through. A lot of ladies of the night. In fact, some recurring ones too. Like who was the one lady that was on there? Like I think it was first season. She seemed to be a repeat person. Something like Carla B or something like that. Not Cardi B, but
Good God.
Carla Bouvier, known as Carla B.
One of the people most thankful for Night Court was Mel Torme, the singer.
Yep.
Who he gave credit to the show for rejuvenating his career.
Yeah.
Through Harry, the main character, loves Mel Torme and eventually even has his photo up in his office. I think he has it on his desk in the early seasons, and then a giant poster in the back in later seasons.
Right. Yeah, because I think the giant poster for a while was like Marilyn Monroe. I think it was
some old actress. I don't think it was Marilyn, but it was an old.
It wasn't Marilyn. Okay.
Yeah.
It was definitely like an old
Marilyn
time
type for sure. Yeah. So yeah, Mel Torme was like, "Oh, thank you. You rejuvenated my career," and he ended up doing a bunch of guest spots to the point where Harry Anderson actually did his eulogy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is nuts. I don't know if they became that tight or whatever, if it was just kind of like a, thanks, but I thought that was pretty interesting.
Let's see, who was some of the other ones that
What's Data from Star Trek? What's his name?
Brent Spiner.
He's in a bunch of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
As the poor family. Were they from Russia too, or were they from?
No. They're kind of like mountain people or something, right?
They were from another country though.
But Bob and June, I think, were the.
Yeah, they were from.
Oh, that's country. Right. Yeah. What are they supposed to be? Like Yugoslavian.
But yeah, they talk like simple hill folks. Yeah. He's in a couple episodes. They actually asked him to be a main cast member, I guess, but he ended up getting Star Trek, I think, at that point.
Yeah. The Next Generation.
Was that really on that early? Must have been like season 3 or something.
Yeah, let's see. It started in 87, I want to say.
Yeah, this started in 84, so yeah. I mean, he did a couple episodes in the early seasons, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yakov was in 5 of them. There was a bunch of episodes where he's like, oh, I got to find my brother, and then the other Russian where he's trying to get a passport.
Yeah, he wants to get a visa to go back to Russia because his mother is sick. That was another one. And
crazy guest stars in this show, man. We talked about where Johnny Carson fucking shows up in the one episode.
Of all cameos,
Johnny Carson do a fucking
I don't remember him ever doing like cameos like that on like any show. Like as far as modern shows, yeah.
I almost chose it, but it became a little similar to the Some Legged Hot episode, the one with Don Cheadle shows up. Just what's her name from Terry Hatcher shows up for an episode or two. It's like was it Jack Riley, the guy we talked about from Newhart?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was
Newhart
definitely.
Show? He was one of Bob Newhart's patients on the Bob Newhart show. and he plays, I think, what I'd say 5 different characters on this show.
Yeah, 5 different people.
He just keeps showing up. Like, I was watching one where Dan's in the hospital and he's his doctor. I'm like, what the fuck? This guy's everywhere all of a sudden, you know? Once you start paying attention, a lot of the same people start popping up.
Who is also another one? Oh, John Astin. What was it? He's Harry's stepdad, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's amazing guest stars in this. People who, even before they were famous, they weren't even guest stars at the time, but later became fucking famous. So you're like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you want to hop into our next episode?
Yeah, why don't we hop into the...
It's a giant fucking sandwich of an episode.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So, Night Court, I looked this up one day, too, and I think I messaged you. There was like 12, I think, that I counted, multi-part episodes.
Right.
This has got to be more than any fucking show I've ever seen.
And when we talk about multi-part episodes, we're not just talking about like a 2-parter. Some of them had 3 or 4 parts.
Yeah, it's nuts. It is fucking... I've never seen a sitcom have this many. In fact, when I was going through watching it, what I did was I chose 1 disc per season, and they're all like 3 discs. And I'd pop it in, and some of them fucking discs would have start with a 2-parter, end with a 2-parter. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then I was like, well, I was watching this one that we're going to talk about here, Danny Got His Gun. And I watched an episode, and then part 2 started, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I messaged you. I was like, oh, we should talk about this one. It's kind of funny. And then there was a fucking part 3 all of a sudden.
Yeah,
I was like,
and that actually, it's the end of season 5, beginning of season 6. Like, it spanned seasons. So,
Yeah.
like, you end season 5 with it, and then you start the first 2 episodes of season 6.
I will say, I don't know that any of these episodes that are 2-parters here actually warrant 2 parts. I think they're a little sloppy in that
Yeah,
way.
it's definitely... They could have cut it, at least just that one, because it's 3 parts. It definitely could have been just 2 parts.
But this one, I figured we should talk about at least one of the multi-part episodes because there are so many.
Mm-hmm.
And of the ones I watched, I thought this was the most interesting comedically of them.
Right.
So the first episode is pretty basic. You're still in the courtroom, and Dan we find out, is part of the Army Reserve.
Correct.
And is basically called to action and is a sniveling coward when it comes to it. And is terrified of, going to war and dying in action. But he really doesn't even know where he's going yet.
Yeah, I love the fact of, like, when Dan talks about being in the Army Reserves, it's like, oh, it's 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year. And what does Bull say from that?
I don't remember.
It's like going to the bathroom.
Oh. Yeah.
1 weekend a month and 2 weeks throughout the year.
So eventually he gets to the point where he's trying to make everyone help him get out of it. And a lot of funny bits come from that, including Phil, another character who shows up, and he was in like 35 episodes, I believe, of this show.
Right.
And he pretends to be gay in front of the colonel. Is it a colonel? Is that what he is?
Yeah, there were 2. There were
the general or the colonel, whatever.
And,
yeah.
And of course you remember what the mission was going to be
when they finally told him.
Yeah, when they finally told him what his mission was going to be.
After he's tried everything to get out of it, he finds out that this beautiful woman is going to be basically on an island with him, and they're wearing like Speedos and bikinis.
Yeah, because
the
people of the island don't wear many clothes, and some of them even no clothes.
So they give him a camo Speedo.
Yeah.
But now he's already ruined it by pretending that he's injured.
Yeah, well, first, like injured, but then he's like, oh, I'm feeling better. Yeah. But then Phil comes along with the flowers and basically pretending.
Of course, back then, did we still have Don't Ask, Don't Tell, or was that not in place yet?
I don't think that was in place yet.
Was that Clinton? Was that what a Clinton thing?
Yes, that was a Clinton thing yet.
So I don't think they really wanted gays in the military though. So he makes this whole thing up with Phil comes in like, oh, I love you, honey, and he's like, oh, don't worry about this guy. He's just lost. And he goes, yes, I'm lost without you, and all this shit.
So they have an alternate mission for him, which is now down in, well, not down, up in the Arctic Circle area.
Yeah.
They said he's going to be giving prostrate exams to polar bears.
Yeah, Phil's funny as a character. He's always a character that shows up. He's like this kind of sloppy bum who's always screwing up, but he's a character that plays with Dan mostly.
Yeah.
And Dan's always trying to find a way to take advantage of him to do his bidding or something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, Phil is always like kind of looking up to him. It's like, oh, you're like, like Dan means everything to him. Like, he's like,
he thinks they're best friends, but Dan just treats him like shit and
exactly.
uses him. I think there was another multi-parter later where Phil like embezzled a bunch of money or something and then blamed Dan for it, but then like couldn't go through with it. So he finally had to like come back and confess or some shit.
Okay, I gotta catch that one.
Yeah. And this guy actually, he plays a bum a lot. I think that was like his shtick as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like he played this character, this greasy bum character for comedy in a lot of different shows. Not all named Phil, but they were that exact same character.
But the one thing I found interesting, did you see the episode last season with it was Bull's bachelor party?
Yeah, that's the one with Gilbert Gottfried as well.
Yeah, with Gilbert Gottfried. But did you hear Phil? Like, it's like I was like, wait, is he trying to do an accent, or is that like his actual regular accent? Because it sounded.
He's got kind of a goofy drawl almost. It's not like country, but it's like.
Oh no, yeah, but
it's uneducated.
But that in that episode, it sounded British. So I don't know if he was losing his accent or just pretending to be British or something. So
maybe I didn't notice because that was one of the first ones I watched and revisiting. So maybe I didn't really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I actually went like back to front for some reason on this one when I was plowing through it.
It's okay, but
just for a change of pace.
Yeah, but it was just like kind of strange because, like you said, yeah, he's just like kind of like this bum, kind of with a bit of a drawl, almost kind of like he's a cousin to Jim Ignatowski from Taxi or something. That's what he seems like.
So that part one of this ends with them getting the singing telegram. He makes it a singing telegram of the news that Dan's plane has gone down in the Arctic.
Yes.
And we open up with them now thinking he's been missing for 2 weeks and he is pronounced dead, basically. They can't find him. They think he's been eaten by a polar bear or drowned. But he's not. Where is he? Hanging out with?
Hey, basically, the indigenous people of the Arctic, the Eskimos.
The most racist Eskimo.
Yeah, that part of it was like, oh god, yeah, they went so stereotypical. They're all named
like Canuck and Amok and
going
like glop glop glop. You're like, holy shit.
I was like, oh my god. And I think the one girl, the one that like cradled them to health. I think she actually played Nurse Kelly on MASH, if I'm not mistaken.
Amy Hill, the one who plays the large Eskimo lady, Nami Lama.
Nami Lama. I thought
she's the neighbor from Next Friday. That's what I know her most from.
Oh, okay.
She's like the old neighbor lady who like smokes weed all the time. She's like, "What up, my homies?" Like, I mean, they're all Asian. I don't know if they're actually Eskimo. I don't think so.
No, I don't think they all are.
Especially when Kelly Hu shows up.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe that's why I'm getting myself mixed up. I'm like, oh wait, I'm thinking Kelly. It's like, yeah, because the actress that played Nurse Kelly was, I think, also named Kelly on MASH.
Dan wakes up next to a seal.
Mm-hmm.
You get some fun seal bits in here.
Mm-hmm. And of course now I'm thinking of of this one song that used to be on the Dr. Demento show. It's like I pulled into a Shell station. They said I'd blown a seal. They said fix the damn thing and leave my private life out of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So like, yeah, he wakes up.
I heard it was an ice cream cone. What's on your face? Ice cream? No, I blew a seal or something.
But anyway, yeah,
I heard a variation of that joke.
So there's a seal there, and then you have the rest of the Eskimos come in.
Yeah, so you get a lot of indigenous type jokes about like, you don't have a phone? He's like, my cousin has a phone.
It's like,
where's your cousin?
Where's
Seattle.
Seattle.
He goes, how do you people communicate? And he says, like, plane. He goes, well, when's the next plane out of here? He's like, morning. And he goes, when's morning? He goes, April.
April.
Sharp. Sharp. Like a lot of that kind of stupid shit. We keep cutting back between Dan with the Eskimo family and the court, which, you know, they're basically planning for his funeral.
Right.
They're bringing in like his belongings, and he's got like the blow up doll and the whip and the corset and all this shit because he's the horn dog.
But then, you know, they're going over his will. That it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, you know, like who gets, you know, like what there, and what is it? Christine gets the jewelry box. Mac gets what was it now? Mac gets
Christine's jewelry box is pretty great. She opens it up and this hand pops out and just grabs her tit. And Roz is like, oh, the first dead man to grope from beyond the grave.
Yeah, it's a Copperfield from beyond the grave.
Copperfield from beyond the grave.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the different...
Roz didn't get anything because he goes, oh, I know that you don't like this sentimental crap and you'd probably just sell it anyway. And she's like, he knows me so well. Yeah, that was a fun little bit. I mean, the blow-up doll is like the most cliche fucking sex addict joke ever.
Of course.
Maybe it was new then. Maybe maybe at the time that episode came out, it wasn't overdone yet.
No, I'm guessing it was around at that point, but I think they definitely made good use of it with Dan.
Phil has a good joke about like, oh, like you really miss Dan, don't you? And he goes, yeah, I've been burning a candle for him every day since he's been gone.
In his pocket.
In his pocket. He opens the shirt and he's got like a fucking
smoking
smoke coming out of his pocket. I hope they find him soon. Yeah. And so you go back to the Eskimo family and you got jokes like, where's your toilet paper? And he hands him an icicle. You go, old Eskimo joke.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of some of the others. Oh, and then when he does finally hear a plane overhead,
the flare gun.
Yeah, the flare gun. He shoots the flare gun up, to signal the plane. But what does he actually do?
He shoots the plane down with the flare gun.
which basically contains the local doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, they do the whole they're watching from a distance because it's sitcom. You don't have budget, right? So It's almost like a Married with Children moment where they're all watching something off screen and you watch their eyes follow the and you see the light flash.
Yeah, it's like you get the sound effects and then light flash. It's like, oh,
the poor man's plane crash. Did you guys see that over there? It's crazy. But yeah, so the pilot shows up and he's got fucking busted ass hands from his. And seems to be a little underlying joke about him being kind of like a sadomasochist where he likes pain.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is kind of fun, which is a weird.
It's like, like the one point where Dan shakes his hand, his hands are all bandaged up from the injury and that, and it's like, it's like, yeah, that that sent a thing like all the way up my spine. Yeah, that was good.
Thanks. He goes, thanks. Yeah, thanks for that. Because even when he falls, he says something like, I should be thanking you. He goes, I got to know what it was like to free fall from whatever God knows.
Yeah, from 15,000 feet.
And you're like, he kind of keeps thanking him every time he gets hurt. And you're like, there's a real kinky side in here.
And what is it with the radio? It's like he takes a look at the radio and it's got this big dent in it. And then he just kind of goes like this with his head, like bends forward. And it's like, oh yeah, that explains the headaches.
Yeah, he's kind of like Bill Murray in Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah,
hurt me. Like he's fucking, which is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, okay, great movie.
Best musical ever made, right?
Definitely up there.
So then we get this whole bit about Kelly Hu shows up and she's she's gorgeous. She's only 20 years old at this point. I knew her first movie, I believe, was Friday the 13th, Part 8.
Oh my God.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh, that one. Oh.
But that was even 89. This was 88. So this was even before that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's possible she was filming that at that point. So
This was her according to IMDb, this was her third credit because I had to look her up at first I didn't recognize her because she was so young. I was like, oh shit, that's Kelly Hu.
and
She only had
I was going to say
credits before this.
What would people mainly know Kelly Hu from?
I would say X-Men 2 as Lady Deathstrike, probably.
Yes, yeah, Lady Deathstrike, which I know she's expressed interest in because Marvel is talking about now some of the Fox properties they got back. That it's like, oh, you're going to actually start seeing some of these characters again at some point. So she's like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that again.
Oh. Well, most people know her from Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. So apparently she did a couple episodes of Growing Pains. She was on 3 episodes of Growing Pains first. Mm-hmm. And then she did a show called Santa Barbara, which I think was a soap opera.
Yeah, Santa Barbara was a soap opera.
And then this. And then shortly after would have been Friday the 13th. What an interesting early career. Growing Pains, Night Court, a soap opera, and then Friday the 13th.
It's like,
and then ends up in
most of these things are not like the other.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, she's cute, though. You can see why Dan's into her.
Oh, yeah. But now what happens, though, with her character?
Her appendix are about to burst.
Right. And now, again, the doctor, his hands are shot because, from the plane crash. So who's got to do the operation?
He's going to talk Dan through the operation. Now, this is a thing where you go, they could have cut this. This is already a 3-part episode.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is the second half of part 2 all about some random operation that Dan now has to do? Like,
yeah, I guess it's to show okay, when it all comes down to it, Dan can be a good person and do good things. But
I will say this is another reason I chose these episodes is because this is a pretty stupid premise, like the whole being stuck with the Eskimo family and all this shit for a show that takes place in a courtroom.
Right? Yeah. It's
what a
just
weird fucking
random, bizarre. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, where can, if you're thinking of a thing like this, what are other things? Oh, probably places around Manhattan or somebody's apartment or something. It's like, oh yeah, no, we're in the Arctic with Eskimos.
But my point being, even when they come up with random, goofy, stupid shit like this, the actual jokes are still really funny. The moment to moment writing is so good. Like the quips and the little jokes, even the insensitive Eskimo random jokes are very funny.
Mm-hmm. And also what you also bring up, the fact of, okay, you're going to go through this and it's like, okay, well, we got to throw the heart part in there too. And you have it really in spades because you have his coworkers.
Them mourning him.
Yeah, mourning him. And then you also have him having the conversation with God at the one point. It's like,
yeah, he does talk to the sky. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah. Cause he's drinking, what did the doctor call it? It's like moose wine or something or other.
Yeah. It's like a moonshine.
Yeah. But he called it moose wine.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like, it's like, God, if you get me out of this, I promised it. Yeah, who am I kidding? Yeah,
yeah. I'll try to be better.
Yeah,
Deal?
I'll try to be better.
Yeah. So that's why I chose this episode, is because it is so out of the fucking, it's random. It is one of the most random episodes ever.
Oh yeah.
And for it to be divided into 3 parts. So he does the operation, she survives, and he's like, oh, when you get better, I'm sending you a plane ticket to New York. I like the large lady who he originally nursed him or whatever is like, can I come too? And he goes, yeah, I'll save you a spot in the fridge so you feel like you're at home. And the seal gives him shit. The seal, the seal's like, arr, 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 and he goes, I told you I'd write. Which comes back at the end of the episode.
Of course, yeah. The last episode, last scene.
So yeah, the third part basically is now they're having his actual funeral. Of course, this Dan Fielding's funeral is full of hookers and women and a whole cheer squad.
Yeah. and his coworkers. Yeah, that's basically the whole makeup of the group. And
that's one thing I was going to ask you during the surgery scene. Did you catch the Honeymooners reference?
Oh wait, I'm trying to remember because there was something I wanted to bring up.
He's getting ready to do the incision, and he's doing the whole.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Yes, yeah. I was gonna say like the Norton like
Yeah. He doesn't want to cut her. He's got to do the surgery. He's got to cut her open, and he does it. And the guy goes, "That was great. That was great. How about we break the skin this time?" You know? So he's like, he just keeps doing it. And he just can't quite get himself to cut the skin, and he goes, "Well, you hurry up already."
Yeah, because basically he is doing an Ed Norton of like
Exactly
about to play
just talked
piano
about
or
the
about to
honeymoon.
swing in golf or something like that. Where
I just thought that was so funny, considering we just talked about that exact thing in the Honeymooners episode. Go back and listen to that one 2 episodes ago.
But
anyway, so yeah, he comes to his own funeral as they're all giving him the eulogy.
Yeah, but of
Harry
course,
is giving
like
them-
he's all he looks like somebody off like a ship like one of those like Deadliest Catch or something or other. That's what he looks like. Big beard and not long, but just like all bearded up and looking scraggly.
Is this also our second episode where the funeral, the person having the funeral is like alive? Wasn't the bird alive in the episode with the odd couple?
Oh yes, yeah.
Is that like a sitcom trope where
I think
we have
so.
a funeral and then they show up? Did you ever watch? You didn't watch Las Vegas, right?
No, I didn't.
There was an episode of that where I think it was Tom Selleck's supposed to be dead, and he shows up at his own funeral. It's a thing. It's a TV thing, I think.
Definite trope. And you know what? There are certain tropes that Night Court does reuse. There is a couple of things, and we'll go into that too, which is kind of funny.
Well, we talked about they're already handcuffed together in the other episode.
Yeah, they
Now you got
handcuffed
people showing up
together.
at their own funeral. There's another one.
Well, there were 2 episodes that they used the snowed in. Like, okay, they're stuck at court. One was a Christmas Eve episode, and then there was like just another one. It's like, large snowstorm. Can't get out. There's like 10-foot snow drifts.
I just thought of 2 that I watched that are very sitcom tropes. Roz and Dan get stuck in the elevator.
Okay.
With 2 sumo wrestlers, which is a pretty funny episode. And Dan is the one who's like sniveling and crying, and Roz is talking him through it. But of course, when they get saved, he's got to look like the hero,
Right.
And Roz lets him. It's like her little, yeah, he was great, And then there's the pregnancy one. Every show has a fucking, we're stuck with a pregnant woman.
Yep.
This one, they have an entire courtroom of pregnant women. And I think it's an earthquake. And they get stuck in the courtroom, and all the women go into labor at the same time. Which actually, there was a season 1 episode where a woman gives birth too in the court, no, it was season 3 because Florence had to deliver the baby, help deliver the baby.
Okay.
Damn, they do a lot of them.
Yeah, so they did reuse certain tropes.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, you were on 9 years. You're gonna run into some of them, right?
Yeah, but again, as long as you do it well, it can be forgiven. If it's just like, okay, you just need to rely on something because you're just running out of material and it's no good.
What was the Fresh Prince one? Wasn't he stuck in a cab with a pregnant woman or something? He had to give.
I think so.
Something like that. I feel like every show definitely has that one.
Yeah.
Pregnant woman going into labor randomly and wherever the fuck you are.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so this final episode, he shows up at his own funeral. There was some good jokes from Harry up there about he's trying anything like, Dan was a good guy, and the hookers are like, no, not really.
It's like, he was no.
He was tall. They're like,
he was tall.
Yeah,
he was tall.
He goes, well, I'll go more in depth on the height thing later. And
I love earlier when they were trying to go over stuff, Bull brings up a fact to Harry. It's like, he was a mammal.
He's a mammal. Yeah.
It's like, and at one point, Harry in the thing gives us like, Dan was, he was a mammal.
And Bull goes, that was mine. Yeah, such a good show. I think especially once you get that season 4 there, your cast is firing on all cylinders.
Right.
And there is a lot of, especially with Dan, a lot of that Archie Bunker. You don't have to say the joke. Dan can give a look as well.
Yes.
Carol O'Connor was big for that. He could just, once he was so established, he didn't have to say the horrible racist thing anymore.
No.
He would just look at the camera or look at the other character and you knew what he was thinking. And there's a lot of that with Dan, with the innuendos, the sexual jokes.
Yes, the sexual innuendos with his character.
Yeah,
definitely. And this is why also he won 4 awards.
yeah. No more. Don't give me any fucking more.
Yeah, that's enough. Stop nominating me.
He's coming back for the reboot.
Yes, yeah, like him. I'm gonna say also. What's her name? Is going to be playing the daughter of Harry, right? I think.
And Christine, yeah. Those are both her parents, I guess.
Right. What the hell's her name? She plays Bernadette on The Big Bang Theory, and
yeah, I know her from that movie, the Bronze, which is kind of funny.
Yes. She's actually funny too. Oh crap, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But yeah, it's like she's.
Are you looking it up?
But she's gonna be the new judge.
Which so like nepotism can just get you a court judge seat now. How does that work? Oh, just because your father was a judge here once.
Yeah.
It will air on NBC 2022 to 23. Melissa Rauch.
Rauch. Thank you.
Yeah, of Big Bang Theory.
It's like I was reading the thing. I'm like,
she's also an executive producer. It looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes. I really hope they bring back Bull and Roz and all the others that are still around.
Yeah. I was gonna say, those are really the only two.
You might as well bring back Lana at this point. She's still alive, and give her another go.
There we go. But I think Roz and Bull are pretty much the only ones of the main cast that are left.
Yeah, and they haven't said anything with them yet that I know of. Now, maybe there's bad blood though, because I know the show when they canceled it, they kind of fucked them over. There was a thing with season 8 was supposed to be the last season, so they tied up a lot of people's storylines, and then the network forced them to do season 9, and I think the showrunner and creator had already left, maybe even earlier than season 8. So they were like, well, we're gonna milk it one more year, come back and do another season, and then they didn't even give them a finale. They didn't tie up anything in the 9th season because there was, I think at that point they were hoping to sell it to another network and get some back end money. Like, oh, we'll sell it here. You can make more. We're done with it, but you can do something. So we don't want to close it.
We've used it up here.
Right here. But then they didn't even do that and basically told everyone be out by tomorrow.
God.
Like they showed up. I think they got like a memo. It was like, all right, get all your shit and be out of the office by tomorrow. We're done.
That sucks.
After 9 years of a very successful show.
I know. That's scary.
So you almost got to be like, oh, I'm surprised anybody came back, to be honest with you. Not like Larry Cat needs the money. He's been around.
I was going to say, because he's done a lot of other things, so.
Right. Yeah, I think he was even on, wasn't he on that Boston Legal we talked about with Shatner?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this episode, we're pretty much done with that one, right? Danny got his gun. 3-parter, pretty funny. I would say the middle chunk is my favorite. Would you agree with that, of the 3 parts?
Yeah. No, I would say part 2 is the meat of the sandwich, basically.
Yeah, the Eskimo actors are very funny in that episode.
Right.
And then the last episode was in season 8, I believe, Day Court. Yeah.
And I love the fact of, in this episode, Roz.
Oh, yes. This one is very funny, and it's a very simple premise. I mean, I was surprised it took them 8 seasons to do something like this.
Right.
Where they're like, hey, there's something wrong with the judge in the morning shift. We have to do the 9 to 5 shift tomorrow. So you get to see all the characters. You kind of get to see a little bit of what their days are like.
Mm-hmm.
You got Marky posed as Christine. Her and her husband are having issues, so they're going to counseling.
Right.
You got Bull, who apparently runs an ice cream truck during the day.
It's frozen strudel.
Frozen strudel. Dan is just not a fucking morning person. He's like, man, I'm usually still in bed right now, and a half hour later, I'm going home. But yes, the best of all of them is Roz, who is the grouchy, gruff bailiff.
Right. No nonsense in that. And
But during the day,
it's like
she's a day person.
Good
She's
morning, everyone. Would
Good
you like?
Look at the beautiful sunshine.
And what is she? Ginger, not ginger snaps. Ginger cookies.
She makes cookies for everyone.
Yeah, it's like what? Like everyone's kind of like taken aback. Like it's like, wait, are you like, are you on some? Like, is there something in the cookie? Is there something?
Yeah, it's so funny to see her play so chipper and happy, and they're all just like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with this woman? But you get a lot of Harry. Harry's just like excited that he doesn't have to deal with bar fights and hookers anymore. He's got like traffic tickets and shit.
Yeah, it's just like a piece of cake for him. And then
like,
you
we have a
the
constitutional issue. We never get these at night.
And the other thing is you have these two old guys that are there every day. Like, this is their entertainment. They come to municipal court in the daytime as like entertainment.
I bet you this is a real thing. I bet you there are old fuckers who are like their entertainment. They don't sit home and watch TV. They go to the fucking courthouse and watch. Now, do you know those old guys do appear in later episodes? And they're in one of the last episodes, and I think it's the one that was meant to be the finale.
Oh, okay.
Where they actually end up being aliens. And they take Bull to Venus with them. Because there's a two-parter, and then there's a random another episode, and then it's the end of the series. But the two-parter really feels like it was kind of like meant to be like the season ender.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end of that one, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take you home with us, Bull." And he's like, "We're going to Venus." And he's like, "Oh, am I gonna like be your leader or something?" And he's like, "No, but you will reach high stuff for us." And then, like, literally, that's how cartoony this show gets. They literally dissipate in, like, light and, like, go to an alien planet.
It's like the Star Trek transporter type of
right.
effect.
They did that on here, too. Remember that with the Star Trek courtroom episode? There was, like, a bunch of Trekkies. And literally, they beam themselves out of the fucking courtroom. So, yeah, this show gets fucking crazy, dude.
But also during the daytime, the cafeteria is actually like an upscale restaurant. It's like oysters, Rockefeller, and like all these things.
Yeah, Dan tries to go into the cafe, and he's got a fucking. Well, you have a reservation, sir. He's like, what the hell? He's like, they're telling me I need a reservation for the cafeteria. He's like, we call it the Blue Room during the day.
Yeah, and it's
they
like
got a band, a maitre d'.
Yeah, and Mac comes. It's like did you know that? Dan's telling him, did you know they have? Yeah, it's like you have to get a reservation. It's like, oh, reservation for Mac. It's like, oh, come this way, sir. Oh, and guest.
Yeah, so they have like a lounge singer who Jack Jones. I had to look up. He was an actual singer, I guess, big in the '60s. He had a song that what do you sing? Bewitched on there. I
think so. And he's basically singing most of it to Dan.
So technically a guest star, even though I didn't know who he was, but he was big 20 years before the show, apparently. But I love that Dan's just, taken aback by everything being so nice in the cafeteria. And he goes, let me see that salad. He looks at it, he goes, that salad's green. And that meat's not.
Yeah. That lettuce is green. Yeah, and the meat is not.
And Mac's like to the maitre d' guy, is like, how's the tuna? And he's like,
and then the guy at the convenience stand there, and it's like, yeah, the oysters Rockefeller. No, it's like, he's like blind, and he's like shaking his head like no.
Which I think that's the same guy who works the night shift.
Yes.
So that guy must work a lot of fucking hours.
Yeah, because it's actually hilarious. It's like, oh, like. Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, like I didn't expect to see you here. Like you're usually there at night. It's like, he goes, I'm here at night. Yeah, because he's blind.
He said something along that line. What are you doing here during the day? And he goes, it's day or something shit like that. Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, that character changed a lot too throughout the show. Whoever ran the concessions.
Yes. Yeah,
in the Florence seasons, there was a big guy that had I think an accent who was dating her kind of.
Yep. Yeah, well, Florence and also Selma too. There was the
same guy dated both. Well, that poor schmuck couldn't catch a break. Jeez.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, okay. I guess I should start dating them because they're dropping here.
They should have asked Roz that in the interview. No, are you gonna fuck the concessions guy too? I'd fuck them all to get here. I don't care. But yes, this is a very funny episode, and of course, they're like enjoying their first sunset together.
Yeah, and this thing is great. Where all of a sudden they're like, "Oh wow," like kind of like all enjoying it, and then as the sun is going down, what happens?
Roz turns back into her old self. Basically, it's like, "Well, that's it. The day is done." And she goes, "Get your hands off
me!"
I break them or some shit like that. Which is, I love a good cartoony character change. It's basically she's like a werewolf.
Yeah.
The moment the sun sets, she goes back to being a bitch. These later seasons too, we get that the stenographer character.
Oh,
who's kind of like the ditzy New Yorker-y voice.
What's her name?
She was in 46 episodes, all of season 8 and 9.
Lizette something or other.
She's kind of funny. I don't know that she adds a whole lot that we needed to the show, but she's kind of funny.
No,
and she has that later romance with Gilbert Gottfried, I believe.
Yes.
I think they date later in the 9th season.
Yeah, but I remember the one point, like, she said something stupid, and, like, Roz is like, just gave her money. It's like, get a clue.
She goes, how do you get here? Like, what? Where? To work. Just, like, baffled by what a moron she is. Yeah, this is a very funny episode. Of the three we discussed, what would you tell people to watch?
Let's see. The Danny Get Your Gun was a great one, but it is, again, 3-parter. So if you want to
It's Night Court the movie, guys. You get an hour and a half.
Exactly. If you're going to go for, like, something to get you right in there, let's see. We did Day Court, that one, and what was it? Hot Stuff, right?
Some Like It Hot.
Oh, Some Like It Hot, not Hot Stuff. Yeah, I think the Some Like It Hot
stuff, baby, tonight.
Yeah, I think the Some Like It Hot was actually a good one to give you really the building blocks of what this show is about. I think that's a great place to start. You get to see, okay, yes, it's not the full all the characters that you're going to see in the later seasons, like from 4 on, but it is going to give you a taste of what the main group is going to be like.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with the reboot, and I'm wondering if it's going to have as much heart if you don't have Harry around. Yeah, actually, Roz does do a lot of heartfelt stuff in the show. But if you just have Dan, and Dan does have heart, but it's usually drawn out by Harry or something like that. So I'm interested to see if they're going to go straight up raunch. What can you get away with Dan these days?
Yeah. How is that going to be balanced?
Imagine Dan in the world of cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a character that it doesn't really seem ripe for 2022. Well, even though I would love to see it.
We'll see what it comes out as. Like if he seems to be the same character, but maybe hopefully not too toned down, or like has he changed some of his ways as he's gotten older?
Is he married? They're never gonna have him married, right? He's got to be single for the show to work.
Or maybe he was married for a short time, and now it's like, oh no, he's back into the single life, but now he's an older guy.
Do you like the whole Harry Christine thing where they never really got together?
Yeah, that was the one thing I will say that it was kind of like. There's been a lot of shows where you have these characters and they're forced together. Mm-hmm. With these two, it's not that they're forced together, but it's like we never got a satisfying okay.
It's a will they won't they from the moment she shows up.
Yeah, will they won't they?
And I think they kiss once. Like they have a night where she's kind of drunk and vulnerable and she kisses him or something, but then they immediately distance themselves from it. And then I know I think it was around season 7, end of that, she got pregnant in real life.
Right.
So they wrote it into the show, and I think that's where the whole husband thing came from.
Yeah, the guy, what was it, Tony?
Yeah, they just they quick made her, a guy I used to know showed up and I got pregnant, and now we're getting married, and that kind of halted the whole Harry her thing, and it was just because she got pregnant in real life.
Right.
So I don't know. So it is weird that we never really got that in this show, and in the reboot now we're gonna have their daughter.
Right. So yeah, it's now the assumption at some point they got together, unless it was like a
on the 30 Rock episode they get married.
Yeah, so maybe
we want to count 30 Rock as canon?
There we go. I guess we'll have to.
The 30 Rock Night Court episode where Mac marries them is now canon because they have a daughter, right? And
there we go.
why was their daughter would have had to have been alive at that point though, for her to be that old?
I was going to say,
she wasn't at their wedding. Rude. How dare you, 30 Rock, not think that far ahead?
How do you explain that out? To wait to see the new.
They're just gonna go, okay.
I love Bull.
I love everybody on this show. I don't know, man. If we were to re-rank all of our shows we talked about favorites, this would be up there.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. This is in the top couple. Like top 3 definite. Like definitely from the bottom we can put 8 Simple Rules.
That's the only definite one.
Yeah, that's the one we know where that one goes. But
I think I've exhausted my notes on Night Court. You got anything else you want to add before we call this fucking fabulous episode?
Well, to bring up some great things. What's her name? Ellen Foley, who played Billy, the public defender in season 2. People may not, if you don't remember her as Billy on Night Court, there is something you may remember her as. She was also a singer. In fact, she was the female singer on Paradise by the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf, the recently deceased Meatloaf.
That was weird when you messaged me that the other day.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Oh, we also got to say R.I.P. fucking Louis Anderson now, too.
Yeah.
Meatloaf, Louis Anderson. It's like, Jesus. I watched his, I think I sent you the pilot of the Louis Anderson show, The Louis Show.
Oh, the Louis Show, yeah.
It only lasted 1 season, but that's the only episode I saw that was on YouTube, so I watched that. And he was a funny guy. I never went out of my way to watch anything Louis Anderson, but I remember like Life with Louis when I was a kid.
Yes, yeah, I was going to say the animated show. And then also just like whenever he had a stand-up special, or if he was just on a talk show thing, he was good. He was a very likable guy.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Coming to America and Coming America 2, he came back for.
Yes.
And very funny in those. Was he like the only white guy in that fucking movie, I think?
And Coming to America, yeah, I think he was the oh, well, no. Well, it depends how you put it, because remember the guy in the barbershop, the old Jewish guy.
Oh, right.
But that old Jewish guy
the
was
only white guy in there not in blackface.
Yeah, but the old Jewish guy that was played by
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, yeah.
It's like, wait, hold on. Yeah, so I guess, Louis Anderson was.
He's in whiteface. It's fucking racist.
But, so R.I.P. to both of them.
I said it was weird. I was watching the Louis show, and of course I have my eBay store, right? And they mentioned, I forgot the name of the city. Anyway, they mentioned some city, and I was like, is that Minnesota? Where's Andy? I was like, Where's Louis Anderson from? So I Google where Louis Anderson's from. Was it Decatur?
I think you may. It was definitely Minnesota, but yeah, I don't remember the exact city.
So, so I Google where he's. Oh, yeah, he is from Minnesota. And then something sold on my eBay store that was shipping to that exact same city in Minnesota.
That's scary.
I was like, fucking weird.
Well, it's just as weird as we're doing this episode on Night Court and Ellen Foley. Oh wait, she was the female singer in Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Oh, with Meatloaf, who also just died.
Crazy.
So yeah, there were some definite weird things going on, and definitely a great show to watch for the cameos. For the little guest stars. There's tons of them.
A perfect setup for a rotating door of great guest stars. And the moment there's a case you're bored with, guess what? It's gone soon. So
yep.
You
Yeah.
never have to like feel like,
Oh,
they're gonna
this
keep
again?
doing this shit. Yeah,
Or
it's
this
not
person?
6 people in a room like most sitcoms. It's
Nope.
6 people plus God knows who else, and they always add a new flavor to it. I think this is a perfect setup for a show.
It is. It really is a great recipe for a sitcom. Just
And you think
to keep
think
it
about-
fresh.
and think about the range they can cover with a courtroom. Not every case is going to be fucking murder. You know, you have everything from the smallest little one. There was like a joke in one of them where he's like, "Oh, and I guess we can all agree now that 12 eggs do count as one item." So
One
for, like,
item.
the checkout lady and the old lady in
Mhm.
the express lane or whatever. Like, yeah, there's little jokes like that. Yeah, it's amazing, and you get fucking Wile E. Coyote to show up. So I mean,
Yeah, any show that can get Wile E. Coyote to show up. Yeah,
anytime you can get Wile E. Coyote and fucking Johnny Carson, I'm in.
Yeah. And then actually have Gilbert Gottfried as a recurring person in a season. You're good in my book.
If it ain't fixed, don't broke it.
As Jay says, if it ain't fixed, don't broke it.
Well, we're gonna cover next week or 2 weeks from now. We're gonna be doing Mary Tyler Moore Show because we've also lost fucking all of that cast now.
Right. Yeah.
And then after that,
basically,
we're
2021, we lost 3 of them. So, yeah.
And then after that, we're gonna do Full House.
Correct.
So people need to stop fucking dying so we can catch up and like appreciate your work, man. This is crazy.
Right. Yeah. We don't want to do it all in memoriam.
Yeah. No shit.
We want to do it more like, oh, this person was really funny, and hey, I think they're on a new sitcom now, or they're doing something else besides dying.
Yes.
So but
if you're listening to this and you want to check out Nick, your Twitch here is NetNick191.
that is correct. And if you want to check out Jay, you are Bidwell Fogg.
Bidwell Fogg. We're on Facebook, kids. Facebook.com/sitcommyface. Twitter, sitcommyface. Just basically get over here and sitcom my motherfucking face.
I see.
Gmail. Sitcommyface@gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
So I mean, we're out there, kids. Come play. If you got a show you want us to cover, let us know for sure.
Please, and any comments on, what you like, what you don't like, any of it, just send it to us.
I had one buddy tell me, he goes, even when I don't know the show, he goes, I feel like you guys make me want to watch the show. And he goes, except for that one.
Yeah,
I was like, I know.
Let me guess which one. Let's see. It wasn't Friends. It wasn't Bob Newhart show. I'm guessing it was 8 Simple Rules.
The only people that watched that show were 8 Simple Fools.
Yes. So for Sitcom My Face, yeah, I've been Nick Franco, and
I've been Jay Bidwell.
And hopefully you will
Sitcom My
My Face.